cam here. I'm the red car on the right here, and it's a rolling start. We're just coming around the last bend here at Classic Silverstone. So why don't we click play, and we'll see. Let me just turn down the volume a little bit. We'll see what happens. So here we are. The green flag has not dropped yet. I'm just behind the number 16 car here. It'd be nice if the camera would zoom out a little bit, or if I could get rid of the UI. I'm not sure how I can do that, but yeah, let's see what happens. Here we are. Flag is green. We are full speed underway. You see I got an amazing slipstream off the start, going right down the inside. Ooh, this guy's about to make it 3 wide. But luckily he decided not to take that route. Here we can see I actually took a much shorter braking zone than the 16 car, but I managed to slip in behind him there on the exit of the corner. And so here we are, just keeping on the right for the next corner, cutting in front of him, and now, oof, he just about missed the back of me there. Probably shouldn't have braked quite that early on the first lap, to be honest. I remember thinking that at the time as well. Now let's see, take a look who's in front of me at this moment. Oh, that's the wrong camera. Can't actually see anybody in front of me right now. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We've got 3 cars in front. That means we must be in 4th position, up 3 places already from the start. And you can see we're holding with this group up ahead quite well here, actually. They're fighting in amongst themselves, so that's going to allow us to get a really nice run out of this last corner here as we head onto the start-finish straight. Now, I'm just noticing here that one guy actually went into the pit lane. I'm not entirely sure what happened with him. He may have gotten a penalty for a false start before the safety car actually got moving. So that's put us nicely up in the 3rd position here. You can see them still fighting up ahead. Actually gave us a great run on the number 19 here, actually having to get out of the gas on the apex of the corner there, but managing to stick with them very nicely here up in a slipstream. But this is a very dangerous place to make a maneuver or an overtake, thanks to the left-right nature of it, so I'm going to think better of it, just hang behind him there and see if I can get a better run. But he's doing a very nice job of blocking me on the apex, and I actually wasn't able to get on the throttle quite as early as I wanted. Nonetheless, you can see we are actually pulling out next to him here. Luckily, we're on the inside. He decided to go to the outside there. Probably not a move that I would have done myself, but that's something that you learn if you play this track a little bit more. And yeah, the Mazda just does not have enough grip to hold it around the outside on that corner. Maybe in a more higher downforce car you might be able to continue to keep your momentum when you're going around the outside, but not in this car. Anyways, we are nicely up into P2 now, and you can see we're just catching up to the number 1 car a little bit, but he's managed to get a nice little gap, so we'll just put our head down and see if we can get in a good lap here and get right up behind this guy. Let's take a look back at the chopper cam. You can see we're nicely ahead of the car we just passed earlier as well. He's not going to be causing us too many problems. Let's see. Take a look back. Yeah, so we're getting a nice gap, but I can already tell you that that car is going to make another appearance in this race later on. Let's take a look forward again. And yeah, this race, I mean, oof. You can see that guy locking up in the back, going very wide. It's going to give this guy a nice little buffer from behind. Maybe that's what's going to get him to catch up to us later on. But you can take a look now. We're still quite a ways away from the man up ahead. He goes very wide into that corner. I take a little bit of a nicer, cleaner line through there. That's something that I learned on this track. They really let you cut a lot of the curbs on the inside there without giving you a penalty. And so I took advantage of that, and that's given us a really nice run here onto the exit as well. You can see we're much closer than last time, but definitely going to need at least one more lap till we can think about making an overtake here. So let's just take a look a little bit further back in the field. You can see the camera here from Jeff. Buddy Jeff. My name is Jeff. Oof. Yeah, not taking a bad line through there, but you can see I'm getting a little bit closer to the man in front now. Let's just switch back. I'm definitely not going to make a move here. That's something you really want to think twice about on this racetrack. It's much more beneficial to get a good run out of this corner. Not doing a good job of that here, so I'm probably not going to be able to catch up to him too much on the straight here, despite the slipstream. But yeah, in that corner that we just passed through, yeah, you really got to be careful. And if you do manage to pass on the way in, odds are you're going to get passed again on the straight after it. So you really need to think about what you're doing there. And here you can see now we're just coming up around the last corner on what lap are we on? Lap 4, and we're right up to the back of this number 1 car, and he's going to be our number 1 rival throughout the rest of this race. A fantastic battle that we're going to get to here. And we've got about another 19 laps left of this race. So here we go. Oof, he is incredibly slow through there. Was not expecting that, and very lucky that we did not collide there. But managed to slow it down quite just enough, but without giving up too much speed, as you can see. So I'm very nicely on the back of him. Despite that, still not going to be going for a move there. Really just trying to get the best exit. Taking a bit too much of the curb there. Not really something you want to do. If at all possible, you want to be staying off the curb. There's a really nasty notch on the right side there that really unsettles the car. It can actually be useful at some, if you're lucky, and it can rotate the car for you, but that's really not something you can plan. And here you can see just, sending it down the inside, him taking that wider line again, but once again, as I've mentioned, it's almost impossible to stick it around the outside with the MX-5 there, and so I managed to make the move, actually running a little bit wide there, but that's not such a bad thing normally on this corner. Unfortunately, he took advantage of it and immediately seized the opportunity to come back into the lead, so here we are, side by side, coming down the main straight. Not entirely sure who's faster at this point, but fantastic racing from him to get right back inside of me there, not giving me a single break. Every mistake that I make is being punished. And here we go, 2 by 2 around the outside. I'm going, that's a fantastic move by him to get that done and not allow me to take the lead. But clearly I haven't lost that much time, and our opponents are definitely not anywhere near us at this point. We are just in another level, so to speak. Just a gap in the field behind. So let's see what happens. I'll just keep it on this camera for a little bit now that we are in the lead. It's a little bit difficult to commentate. Ooh, you can see him taking that tighter line there, making it run around the outside. That's really scary when you see that in your mirrors there. Now, I am just realizing that that's not the car that I thought it was. But yeah, that's really scary when you see them coming around the left side there. I think they're going to stick it around the inside on the last corner, which is almost certainly a death sentence. So here we go, just a little switcheroo back to the chopper cam, and let's see what we can do here. Getting a decent run, him actually running very wide there, taking the smart approach, just driving diagonally straight across that grass rather than trying to fight it and losing more time. You're getting the off track one way or another once you get 2 wheels in the grass there. And you can see him trying to get a very nice wide line to get a good run on me there. Unfortunately, I did not do a very good job. I thought he was closer than he actually was, because I remember getting spooked when I saw him in the mirror there. Objects in the mirror are closer than they may appear, as you may know. And so I gave him a little bit more room than I probably should have. Here you can see me actually going for that line around the outside. Since he already did have the inside, and just barely making it, but really only because I was ahead going into the corner. That's the only reason that worked. But thankfully, he was not able to get the traction down very well in the last corner, and so coming onto the back straight, I am nicely pulling away. Now you can see we've got our first set of back markers coming up in front of us here, which is really going to play a role. But luckily, I can tell you now that there's not too much drama with the back markers in this race. Unfortunately, I did get a little bit distracted there and ran wide and got an off track, so that's not fantastic, but could be worse. And he's doing a very nice job getting out of the way for me, and surprisingly for my rival here as well. Not entirely sure how he managed to get through, but he's giving me a good run for my money, that's for sure. And you can see that he's still right on my tail. I'm actually driving down the middle here to just to not give him that slipstream, but also I don't want to give him the inside line. Now, I really don't think he's going to be going for a move here, and yeah, he decides not to, but I do run a little bit wide and sort of give it to him nonetheless. Maybe I got a little bit scared seeing him in the mirror, and he's trying to poke it up the inside, but I'm really doing my best to keep it tight on the apex and not let him have that room. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough, and here we go side by side once again down the back straight. Fantastic to see, absolutely exciting. And still struggling with these cameras here a little bit. And let's see, can he hold it? Can I send it around the outside? Probably not. I think I'm going to go for the switchback. Here we go. Can't believe I didn't lose more momentum there. Absolutely steamed past him. He probably didn't expect me to have that much momentum either. And surprisingly, he got on the brakes quite hard. Didn't run out all the way to the edge of the track there. So probably going to be regretting a little bit of something there. Now, it's always annoying when you have to go on the defensive into this corner, because once again, you just lose so much time coming out of it and going onto the straight, and especially with this slipstream, he's really going to be sticking behind me here. There's not much running away. If you do have a car close behind you that's sort of a similar pace to you, it's very difficult to create a gap on this track thanks to the long straights. And yeah, these cars don't really have a dirty air effect in the corners either. And you can see he's really just extremely close to me, and I think we actually touched there. Unfortunately, both of us got a +4, if I'm not mistaken. That may have happened a little bit later on as well, but it did look like we touched there, and so that would be a collision for both of us, which I really think is yeah, I mean, in no real racing series in the world would that ever be punished, but it is what it is. Now you can see him sending it up the inside. I did not expect that, absolutely unprepared, and so forcing me wide. Luckily I didn't run onto the grass, but absolutely shat myself when that happened. A little bit of poo-poo came out, and definitely don't want to be leaving that much room on the inside there. Now here you can see he's really trying to get past, getting a little bit desperate at this point. It's really unlikely they're going to be making a move there, and so as the leading car, this is something that I had to keep in mind as well. Just as much as I was being frustrated by the fact that I had to constantly defend from this guy, and that he was able to stick behind me so well, he must have been getting very frustrated not being able to pass me at this point, or not really being able to pull away from me when he did pass me. So very on edge for both of us here, and I think one quick rash decision from either of us at some points in this race could have easily ended both of our races, and that's something I definitely tried to keep in mind, just to keep it smooth and not make any quick moves. And you know, the number one most important thing is that you don't crash, not that you keep your position. And so here you can see him sending it again, and quite honestly, looking at it from this perspective, I most definitely should have closed that door earlier, but on the switchback, coming within millimeters of the back of his car, but somehow managed to bring it back around. And let's see if we can get in for a little bit of a cockpit cam here. I think that's pretty exciting as well. Honestly, I was playing this in VR, and it was just incredible. Got out of that VR headset completely sweaty. The experience of having a car side by side with you as you're going through the corner and having to manage looking straight ahead with quickly shoulder checking and keeping the car going in the direction that you're wanting to go is so unlike anything that you can get on a flat screen. And oh, you can see right there, I take it up the inside, side by side, pushing him wide there, but he manages to get a great run out. And here, obviously, I'm going to go for the switchback, but it's very tough on this incredibly long corner with these low downforce cars to keep momentum in the corner and to get any sort of advantage over your rivals if he does also get a good exit on that corner. But here you can see I am very close, and maybe I'm going to try to scare him with the same move that he's been doing on these last couple of turns, but it doesn't look like I'm quite close enough. Nonetheless, I do try it, and oh my god, it is absolutely incredible that we did not collide there. He must have seen me coming in his mirror to go a little bit wider than he probably wanted. You can see he actually got a little bit sideways through there, but fantastic, because I absolutely miscalculated that. Probably got a little bit distracted looking at his tail lights, and might have definitely gone into the side of him if he had squeezed me as much as he probably could have. But nonetheless, I managed to keep it on the road, and we're still right up behind this guy. Not anything to split us right now. We are going back and forth. This race is incredibly close. We're on lap 12 of 24, and right now I could not tell you which one of us is going to win this race. So here we go again, through this last corner, one of the most important corners on this track, without a doubt. And here you can see we're getting a fantastic run, taking out a little bit wider than him. And we're going to do the exact same thing again that we did on the last lap. Take it right behind him as long as we can, and see if we can scare him on that corner one, that fast sweeping right-hander. Oh, but he's actually going to cover the insider this time, so no dice. And we're going to keep it on the left. Ooh, actually dipping a wheel in the grass, but no matter, he also takes it, not ideally, and we get a fantastic run down the inside. Oh, absolutely bananas. Are we oh, we're side by side right now. Is he going to go for the switchback, or is he smart like myself and does not go for the move there, because it is absolutely not advisable? Fantastic work by him. This guy is a joy to race with, and definitely going to see sending him a friend request after this. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. Coming down this back straight again. Onto the fast left-hander. I've got the inside line, which is a big advantage in these cars. He takes a very, very, very late lunge going for the cutback, but that's never going to work on that corner. And you can see he has dropped behind a little bit as well. But nonetheless, he does get a very good exit there, and we're just as close as we have always been. These two red Mazdas looking fantastic, both of us just driving the Silverstone track. The stands are packed, and my God, this is absolutely a fantastic race. I definitely unlocked a new level of my own personal driving here, and he's sending it up the inside again, giving him just enough room, but yeah, he wasn't quite dedicated enough. Probably could have done it if he stuck on the throttle a little bit harder, left him a little bit much room, but that's fine. Yeah, really unlocking a new level of my own personal driving in this race. As you can see, we are a lot faster than all the cars behind, and that's not really something that happens to me a lot. And yeah, this was a really good race for me to get my safety rating up and to get my I rating up, which is something I've definitely been struggling with in the last couple of weeks since I got iRacing. So yeah, this was a great race. Still only on lap 14, so we've got another about 10 laps or so to go. And yeah, right now I am in the lead. You can see that might have been the touch that I was talking about earlier. He's right on my tail. And yeah, probably not going to be getting a good run here, since he did run into the back of me a little bit. But it's not going to be long until we do have another exciting moment here. And you know, it's not often I watch one of these replays and don't have to fast forward or skip any laps. Normally I'm just looking for the highlights, but this whole race to me was an absolute highlight. You can see there I'm running wide, absolutely about to crack under the pressure. I remember thinking to myself at this point in the race, my God, I don't know if I can continue on this pace much longer. I am about to crack. Please just let me hold it together. You can see I'm running very wide there, touching the curb there. Normally not something that I would be doing, but yeah, very nervous at this point. Now you can see here we're lapping on their back marker. I tried to use this back marker a little bit to block the guy from behind out. He actually made a cutback on me there, tried to go down the inside, but no dice, and that was ridiculous. I am very surprised we did not collide there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more dynamic camera action here, but to be honest, yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting to happen. So let's maybe not do that, and just hop back to the blimp. Apparently we've got a blimp and chopper going at the same time on this racetrack. That is incredible, really. I've never seen that, and I don't really know what the advantage of a blimp would be over a chopper, but here we are. Here we go. So we've managed to lap that back marker. These two red cars, myself in front in the neon green race suit in the cockpit there. Oh, you can see him much faster than me. Suddenly decides to make a move in a place he's never made before. Fantastic driving by him. Caught me by surprise. Not something we've been doing for the last 15, 16 laps. Not a move that either of us have tried. And so honestly, mad props to him for taking that initiative, going down the inside there, since he did have the overspeed. And he's been stuck behind me for a couple of laps, so that was a fantastic move by him to take the lead back. Now let's see if we can do anything here. It's always much easier to take this corner if you're behind someone. I feel like that seems to be a trend here. The car behind, not on this corner so much, but on the one before, seems to be able to just cut in a little bit deeper and judge that corner much better. Not entirely sure why that is, but here we go onto the main straight. Now I'm in the slipstream of him again. My race engineer Jeff is probably telling me right now that the guy in front of me is the leader. Who would have possibly guessed? And you can see here, I'm not really a big fan of the move down the inside there. Oof. You see that cutback is much more my style. I don't like diving up the inside on that corner because that is absolutely a recipe for disaster. If my front bumper touches his back wheel on the turn in, that's disaster for both of us, a potential race end right there. So I much prefer the cutback on the T1, but you can see him right here actually trying to cut back on me a little bit. He might be getting a little bit of a better run with the slipstream here. I'm sure this is far from over. He's definitely going to be coming back potentially at the end of this straight or the next straight. This racetrack really, for these tracks, is almost too large. Normally the Mazdas do drive on smaller tracks, but it does make for a very interesting race, something that you don't usually get in these Mazda races. I mean, you're taking a lot of these corners in fourth gear, third gear, which is really not something you're used to. Most of the time you do shift down to second gear a lot, so really an unusual track for this series, but yeah, the slipstream effect is massive, and that really my phone understood series as Siri. Funny. The slipstream on this racetrack is pretty large. You can see him there having quite a bit more overspeed at the end of that again, and I think we're just going to switch away from the... Actually, let's stay on the blimp here for a little bit longer. At this point, I'm spamming the button on my steering wheel. It's putting the pass left message in chat, hoping that guy sees it. Here he's going to try to send it. I was like, no, man, you are not going down the inside there again. That is, first off, fucking way too dangerous, because of that like kink on the curb on the inside. It's so easy. It's happened to me a couple times before. To get a little bit excited on the way in and just slide into the car that you're trying to pass. And so I really was not a fan of him trying that there. You can see me here also trying to get him to not overtake there, but I'm going to be honest, if there's got to be an overtake, I'd much prefer he did it there, because there's so much more room and track to play with. And yeah, so he's getting a really, really, really good run on this corner here. At this point, I was really concerned that I was not going to be able to keep the lead for the end of the race. We're on lap 18 now, and we're passing each other every 3 or 4 laps at this point, but yeah, there's not that much of the race left, and if he passes me, then I would definitely have to pass him back. So let's see how that goes. Here we are, just rounded turn 1 on lap 19. I can hear the engine of his car right behind me. Is he going to make another move here? No, not this time around. He's definitely going to be going for the cutback, though, I can tell you that much. There he is right now. I figured as much. I'm taking the shortest line possible there to get as far away from him and not give him the slipstream, but as you can tell, that's not really working. I was dedicated to taking the inside line here. He really did try to take it and followed me to the left of the track quite a bit, but I was not going to have it because, as I've mentioned multiple times, the outside here is garbage, as you can once again observe, and I managed to keep the lead, and he actually loses quite a bit of time there, so I'm just going to take a nice smooth line into this last corner, accelerate out of it as well as possible. He's taking a little bit more of a little bit higher minimum speed, but as you can see on the acceleration, that does give me the edge. And let's just look back at him here real quick. I think we've got a back marker following us. The guy was actually really fast, and I was kind of concerned at one point in the race, later on I believe, that he was going to maybe pass both of us because we were fighting with each other so much. And here we are once again side by side through that first corner. That's that move I was talking about that I really didn't like making, unfortunately getting another off track there. I really don't like making that move into turn 1 because it's very, very dangerous, and fucking up the camera once again is yours truly here. So let's see, can we get the cut back, trying to get the best possible run here. I knew I lost the position, there was no point fighting it, so taking a different line to him there. He unusually actually did take quite a defensive line. I am not quite as much of a crazy sorry, what are they called, not suicide bombers, not Kawasaki's, oh my god, the Japanese fighter pilots who flew into stuff. They're definitely not called Kawasaki's, but I feel like it's something close to Kawasaki. I don't remember. Anyways, he's managed to hold the lead on this lap quite well. I'm definitely way too far behind on this first corner to even attempt to make a move, much less a cutback, as well as this next corner. But this definitely, yeah, I mean, this is fine. I've got 3 or 4 laps to go. I'm seeing some back marker traffic up ahead as well, so maybe that can play a role. Maybe slow him down a little bit. I'm surprised back markers haven't played a bigger role in this race. Normally, when you're up at the front of these Mazda races, there's quite a few guys in here who aren't that experienced, since it is one of the beginner series, and the back markers can actually cause quite a bit of a problem. It's happened to me a couple of times that I have gotten knocked out and coming very, very close to the back of that Mazda up ahead there. Very, very, very happy I did not run into the back of him. I would feel so guilty if I ruined this race for him as well as myself. Absolutely great driving from him up to this point. Respectful, fast, and just great racecraft overall, forcing me into mistakes and forcing me into places I don't want to be on the track, and actually doing a great job of defending a lot of the time as well, and keeping a great pace, not doing any unexpected moves. I know there was a lot of times in this race, unfortunately running on the grass there, as I did 2 laps before. I remember there was a lot of times in this race where I was millimeters behind him, and I was very, very thankful that he did not panic brake or just kept to that line that he was taking the laps before. And here you can see me finally making a move down the inside again to take the lead. Very unusual place to pass for me, but made it happen since he did actually run wide there. Probably after I got so close to him, he was a little bit busy looking in the mirror. That's really easy in that corner. It just comes up to you so fast. And you're not really, because of the S-turn nature of it, you're never really sure if the guy behind you is going to go for a move or not. And here we are, absolute chaos with the back markers. My God, did you see that? I think we're just going to go for a quick rewind here. That was terrifying. Terrifying. I'm fighting for the lead with this man here. That guy just came back onto the track. This guy is going 5 miles per hour. I'm thinking about going down the outside. He starts drifting the outside. I'm surprised my colleague here, my rival, didn't crash either, but he manages to somehow slip down the inside of me. That was very frustrating when that happened, that I lost the lead thanks to those back markers doing some absolutely very strange things on the track there, rejoining in places they definitely should not be when the leaders are coming through. But here you can see side by side, wheel next to wheel, nothing in between the two of us coming into that first corner. Obviously, I'm going a little bit deep. He's getting a little bit earlier on the brakes there to make sure that we both take our lines accordingly and don't crash into each other. But here you can see still side by side coming into this next corner is something you really don't want to be doing. This is absolutely terrifying, and I knew that I was not going to make it if I hung it around the outside there. I definitely could have kept in that fight for longer, but I decided instead I was going to go for the switchback and take that shortest route again, which is going to get me the nose ahead at the beginning of the straight, but and this is the final lap of the race. This is the last 2 corners of this race. I am just now remembering, and we are side by side, as close as it can possibly be. I take it a little bit deep. Unfortunately, I'm on the outside of that corner that you don't want to be on the outside of, and I knew I had to dive here. I just went for it, and he gave me the space. He definitely could have closed the door there, actually touching on the last corner of this race. Side by side, door to door, here we go, down the back straight for the last time in this race. This is the closest finish I think I've ever had. There we go, across the line, and by 1 car length, over 24 laps, I managed to take the lead. Such a great race by this man. I want to shake his hand, and I want to take him into a factory and do a facility and do research on him and figure out how we can create more people like him, because that was absolutely a thrill, and I am still just as amped up now as I wish. I hope you guys enjoyed that ride as much as I did, and I hope my next races go just as well, and I hope I can keep putting out some more cool videos for you guys. But that was one heck of a race here at the Legacy Track in Silverstone. My God.